Hello YouTube modeling community, welcome to Morse Custom Model Shop. James Morse here, saying God bless all here. This is kind of an old pro show tool time type thing. Promised somebody a while back I'd do a video on the hole punches and what all uses you can find for them, and I've got a few little segments that I'm going to interspace with this, to show you some of the things I do with them. But there's just a multitude of jobs you can do with these hole punches. And I've got right now myself, I've got 3 sets of them. This is the micro set. This one comes from Micro Mark. It's got the various size punches, pins there. You just pick out the size that fits your hole, whatever hole you're drilling, or want to fill with plastic, or whatever size your instrument is, whatever, and just use that punch and try to hang on to them if you can. I'm just a little clumsy in my old age. Then here's the little plate that comes with it, and of course the plastic part lifts up like so to get your plastic under it. You can see here is a little scrap of O10 that I'm using for holes to fill it knockout pins in with. You just slide it in there, put it where you want it, put your punch in. I've got this little gunsmith and hammer here that I bought because it's light and it's aluminum. It doesn't hurt anything, doesn't damage anything. It actually originally supposed to have a magnifying glass there in the center, but it wasn't there when I got it. That makes a good little hammer for that, and being aluminum, it don't rust. Then you just punch your little hole out, comes out the bottom. You plug it into wherever you want, like I did here with these. Glue it down, and if I'm in a hurry on gluing something, say I wanted to sand this real quick, which I did in order to do this video, instead of using regular Testors liquid glue, I've got me, I don't know wire, I've got me a bottle of MEK, methyl ethyl ketone here. This is like the 10X7R. It's the same stuff's in it, and I think basically the same stuff as Tamiya Extra Thin. It almost sets instantly. You can put a little of that down, put the plug in, clamp it with something. I love these little clamps right here for that. They're very strong, but they're very small. Just clamp it down good, let it dry, run the sand stick over it, and there's no hole left. For these things, you can also, another thing I've done with these is to make discs. Say you want to punch through there, and you'll have a little plastic washer. It's already got a hole in the center. You punch through it again, and you'll have a little plastic washer. Real simple to do. You can make all kinds of size discs with this one, from the size of that hole up to the size of that hole, and that's pretty small. Let's see here. That's let me get this thing to line up for me. That's 0.09, and this one here is like 0.05 or something like that. So they're very small, and that's good for instruments. That's good for punch out pins. Another thing I've done with these, and if you want to, it'd be real easy to do. You can use these for aluminum too, thin aluminum. What I've done is I'll punch me a series of this size hole, and then a series of this size hole, and I'll pancake them, stack them on top of each other, alternating sizes. When you're done, you've got a nice basic core for a beehive oil filter. All you gotta do is take you a piece of sprue and round the ends off, cut tips, and make you a top and bottom, put on a beehive oil filter. Now this punch set come from Harbor Freight. I think it was about 30 bucks. But you can see it's larger sizes. Your smallest one is almost the same as the largest one on there. And it goes up to 3/4 inches, from 1/8 inch to 3/4 inch. It is well built, solid. You can punch stuff up to 1/8 of an inch thick with that thing. And these are good solid punches. You can see how they're beveled to, if you want to punch, if your main thing is to punch a hole, use the beveled end. If you want the disc, use the flat end. Simple as that. And then I've also got this punch set, which is a Tandy punch set that's actually meant for leather. With it, you've got your punch holes here. These are the things that punch through, and you just screw them in, take your little wrench, tighten them down, and you can just wham them into anything, and the little disc will be in here and come out right here. So they go from that size there up to, let's see, this one here looks like the biggest one. So that's another little punch set. This is kind of cheap. You can get these at Walmart for about 10 bucks, but they'll work. I started out with one like that before I got the 60 bucks to get one from Micromark. But you know, I highly recommend having one of these. They're great for scratch building. Anything you want to you need to cut discs for. And you know, when you're scratch building, the main thing you do, you break everything down into basic shapes, and then put it, you know, stack pieces together. So that's the way that I use those things. You can do so many things with them, because you can do instruments. You know, if you want to punch an instrument, you can drill out of your dashboard, punch an instrument out of a copy that you made off the computer, or a decal sheet, either one. I don't ever take the decals and water slide them off anymore. I just punch them out and glue them in white glue, then cover them with crystal clear at the end for the lens. Dr. Cranky and Chip Reimer talked about crystal clear, and it's great stuff. You can make, if you want to make a lens cover, you can take a nice clear acetate. One of my favorites is the one that comes in the collar of your shirt. Some of the dress shirts have a clear acetate ring inside of them. It's very clear, very free of distortion. Makes a great windows or whatever like that. And you take this and punch the ring out, just a lens, and glue it in, and you got a good lens there. You could do it for headlights. You could do it for tail lights, and color them any size you wanted to punch out. They're just, like I say, anything in the world that you want to make a round disc or a ring for, you can do it with these. And like I said, you can, you know, punch out a hole and punch another hole, punch it out larger and make a washer type thing, or just about anything you can think of to do with them. So I recommend them very highly to get one of them. I will put this video up and the accompanying pieces where I show doing some of the knockout pins and some instruments and this and that and the other. And hopefully this will make everybody interested in getting one. If they don't want to get one, hey, find somebody that's got one to get them, punch out some discs, you know. Heck, it don't cost that much to mail a few discs in the mail. So that's all for right now. I'll let y'all get back to whatever you're doing. Thank you, and have a good day. Another little tip on using the hole punches. This kit here, you can see, has got indentations from the punch out pins. Actually, this is where used to be the screw bottom parts when this was a screw bottom kit back in the 60s. So all you got to do to fix that, you find your punch that closest fits that hole. Get you a thin piece of styrene, put it in your little punch, punch out a little piece of styrene, and just put it right in there and put a little drop of glue in it. You do a little sanding on that. You come back and replace this bar with a little piece of square tubing or square plastic, and you've got that hole fixed. It won't look bad at all. You can never get in there to sand that out, so that's the only way to fix something like that. So, just a little show on what you can do with the hole punches. Thank y'all for watching. Another thing you can do with the punch set. You see I'm doing this chassis here. You see these punch out marks here, 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 here. They're in places it's very hard to sand out. So what I do is I pick the punch that fits that hole as perfect as possible. I get me a small piece of plastic, put it in there. Then I'll take my little punch hammer, punch me out a disc. Well, that didn't go all the way through. A little harder. Okay. Punch me out a disc. Pull it out the bottom. There it is. You can keep track of it. That's the hard part. And I just drop it in that hole. Glue it in there with some liquid cement. Clamp it down good and tight so it'll dry hard. Then all you gotta do is just sand over top of it, smooth it out. And you've got that hole filled. Works good, especially in these down in here where it's hard to get to. You can fill them in just a little bit, sand that out with a riffler, and you've got the holes plugged on it. So there's another section of what you can do with the punch. Alright, here you go. Now after they're dried in there and sanded, once you paint those, you'll never even know that those knockout pins were there. Just one more thing you can do with that punch set. Thank you. Here's another place, guys, where I've used the hole punch set to cut out a plug that fit that hole right there. There was 2 knockout pins there. You can see there's some in the floor, but I'm going to flock the floor so that doesn't matter. But right there, you can't even feel them. Filled right in. So that's another place you can use those little punch out rings. Any place you got a knockout plug like that, you can use that punch set to put a piece in it. Just find a piece of plastic the thickness of what the depth of your hole is, and punch it out, put it in there. And if it's a little thicker, you can sand that down. So I don't get them too thick because I don't want to make no more work for myself than I have to. That's another item right there.